the what? Meditation.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
now we are in Facebook. On
Yes,
Facebook.
great.
Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 80 by Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima. Tonight's class is the 9th class of Sabbāsava Sutta with the topic Āsavās to be abandoned by developing. Sabbāsava Sutta is the 6th sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana's Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 79 classes there. The sutta discussion Zoom is always open, therefore whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook Messenger. We are always welcoming newcomers. Please be informed that there will be no sutta discussion class on December 8 and December 15. However, we can meet Bhante personally in the upcoming one-day retreat at Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana on December 10th. The topic of the retreat is wise attention or Yoniso Manasikara, which is related to the Sabbāsava Sutta. This retreat will be the continuation from the first retreat by Bhante on the last September. Therefore, let's join us in this auspicious and meritorious event. Everyone is most welcome to join in. For more information and registration, please check on our Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Facebook post or can contact our admin, Brother Eddie, on 018-382-3132. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Ganggodawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University in Thailand. He was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from year 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the Senior Advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dharma talk, and a variety of other Dharmas activities. His Dharma work can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante. Thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everybody.
Evening, Bhante.
Welcome back to Friday TRV Sutta discussion. And today we are marking the 80th day of the Sutta discussion after many suttas. We started in March, if I'm correct, 2022. That was last year. We studied pretty much the basic suttas. I would say, what were they? Mangala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, and Metta Sutta. And then we slowly moved on to some other little, I would say, more informative, at the same time, insightful suttas about the practice. Going beyond the lay practice into the common practice, which is common to lay people and the monastics. All right, so today we have Aliana, Kim, Brother Bu, Melinda, Sadiris, Nain Cheng. Chan, is this your first time for this session?
Yes,
Maybe.
Bhante.
Okay, great. Chan, and then Lim is here, Corina, Emma. Some others might be joining, I guess, as we continue. Right, so we're going to now respect the Buddha 3 times and then the start of the discussion. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Oh, we have Barbara too. Okay. Some others might be joining. All right. So today is the day that we are discussing the last method of overcoming different, āsavās. That means this is one method, and I could say the last method. That means there are different kilesas or akusalas, defilements that you're going to overcome with different methods, right? So today is the 7th one. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to explain to you about this 7th method, and then leaving next Friday, that means not next Friday. Next Friday, we are some time off on December 8th, and December 15th, I have to be in Terengganu for a talk. I could not actually cancel it for some other reasons. And then we're going to be meeting on December 22nd, this way, online. And some of you might be joining for the retreat on 10th, which Aliana just mentioned, which is about the wise attention. Actually, wise attention will be discussed during the retreat, not only from Sabbāsava Sutta, because this is today also we are discussing Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention, from a larger, broader perspective. Wise attention, Yoniso Manasikara, is the first thing that everybody has to do before thinking about any other thing, bhavana, whatever. So wise attention will be discussed, and then I would say understood in practicing in our daily life during this retreat. This is going to be our 2nd retreat at the Ti-Ratana Vihara clan. The first one was conducted by myself on September 2nd. Yeah, September 2nd. It was about sacred books, actually a loan word taken from North American context of meditation. But we discussed, we can do some like little things for meditation, not like a very long meditation, But this time it's exactly about the most important thing to start with our practice. All right, so let me then show you the screen. For Chan, what I'm thinking is that can you go and watch some of the videos on YouTube, YouTube channel of Ti-Ratana Vihara, whenever you get a chance, then you can understand a bit of our information. Okay. The first thing is very interesting. Bhavana. Okay. What is bhavana? Bhavana, pahantabhas, āsavās.
Cultivation of the mind, is it? Cultivation of the mind.
Cultivation of the mind. Actually, that is what we know from the modern day meditation retreats, modern day meditation movements, actually, which was started with the Attakatha Pali commentaries, and then mostly from the Vipassana movements that was led by the Burmese monks in 18th, 19th century. As a I would say as a solution to the colonialism that was happening in Myanmar, Cambodia at that time by the French and all those people. But anyways, bhavana, the word bhavana is a contextual word. All right, bhavana, you could say bhavana is developing. The last method of Sabbāsava Sutta is developing. What to develop? Now, a lot of people use samatha bhavana, vipassana bhavana. But the Buddha says you only develop the 7 bodhicakkhas. 7 bodhicakkhas. Right? You develop 7 bodhicakkhas. So today's discussion is about the bodhicakkhas. Very interesting topic. Huh? This is where we will end up one day. This life or some other life, wherever, whenever. So now the first method was seeing the seeing the Āsavās as they arise. Let's go back once again to the methods which we've been discussing so far to get a good sense of the seventh one as a basis. First, we discuss that we need to look at defilements, or I would say akusalas, as they arise. Is it an easy thing to do in our life when we spend the day since morning? Are you creating akusalas while you are in dream? Can you create akusalas while you are in dream? Like, let's say you are seeing a nightmare and then you are responding to the nightmare with some akusalas. Is it possible? Are you
No.
intentional?
No, I think no.
You are not
No.
intentional, but probably you might be responding a different way. But you are not intentional, right? In Abhidhamma, we call it manodwara vajjana, mind to adverting consciousness, because when you sleep at night, then your mind still works, but your mind is going to be working not from the outside objects at that time, because you are not consciously giving attention to anything. While you are sleeping, what is happening is it's going to be a replay of the events that happen during the day. They are deposited in the mind, and they are going to replay as time, as things. Let's say it is a bad weather that night. Probably just before you sleep, you had some arguments with somebody in the house. Probably you saw something just before you slept. So all these conditions lead you to dream differently. So the objects are already in there, in your mind, right? They are not outside objects at that time. You are not getting objects from outside at the time of a nightmare or any dream. They are already fed into your thoughts. So they are going to replay, and then your subconsciousness is going to respond to them in whatever way. So you are not intentionally creating any karma at that point. So now, when we understand the what you call dasana, the dasana has to be practiced only when you are spending the day, right? So when you are spending the day, you are trying to see the akusalas as they arise, as they stay, and as they go away from you. Now, one of the very easiest examples is you see your anger, you see your own anger. Normally, you don't see it. You only see what other people do, and then you are getting more angry, irritated, annoyed. But when you know the asana method, the first one, then you are trying to do an introspection about, my anger is now arising. I feel some differences with my breaths. So now I'm going to see my anger. Now I'm going to see how it is going to stay within my mindset, and then how I'm going to respond to others and respond to myself. And how does my anger go away after a certain time, maybe as a result of the situation, circumstance, right? So this is one example. Let's take a good example. I mean, let's say you are going to be practicing metta, loving kindness, and then you see how your loving kindness thought arising within you, right? And then you are seeing that how it stays as much as you want it to be, and then how it goes away, because kusalas are also not going to be with you all the time, because you are dealing with other people, dealing with society. So you can see it, but the first method, and all these methods are actually about how to overcome akusalas. So the first method has to be taken as being able to see akusalas in their real time. First one. And then the second one, maybe I'm going to go over the text a little bit. There are some newcomers today. We can take it from here. Yes. You can see dasana is number one, and then sangvara. Sangvara means you are going to guard your senses. Indriya sangvara. You are going to guard your eyes. You are going to guard your ears. You are going to guard your nose. You are going to guard your, tongue, body, mind. Now, I also told you, Indriya sangvara, calming your senses, does not mean that you are going to deprive of your senses. It is not a deprivation of your senses. Right? If it is a deprivation of your senses, then you are not anybody else, like a blind person, a deaf person, a lame person, right? They have some issues with their senses. You are fully open. Your eyes are fully open, your ears are fully open, but you know what to think, how to process the objects. Your senses are stronger than the objects that are coming up. But normally what happens is that objects are going to be stronger than our senses. So that objects are going to take us over, right? That is the second one. Right? So when you do that, you can minimize lots of kilesas, akusalas. Third one, dasana sangvara, patisevana. Patisevana means now we are depending on the food, clothing, then what else? Medicine and shelter. So whenever people or any being is to use these four needs, they may run into some of the different levels of greed, hatred. Not everybody can understand why they are consuming the needs. When they are going to use clothing, they might sometimes end up with some greed. When they are eating food, they might get into greed about different food. When they are using medications, they might come up with intoxications. I'm healthier than you, or whatever. When they are using comfortable houses, they might come up with some conceit about others, that we are having a very comfortable life, not like others. I mean, we can think about it differently. We have to be compassionate to those who are houseless or homeless, but not in the way that we are better than. So these unnecessary akusalas must be diminished, or I would say minimized. You can only minimize by understanding why we consume these basic needs. So you are going to minimize another set of akusalas relating to the basic needs. That is the third way of minimizing akusalas. Then fourth one is adivasana. Adivasana means tolerance. Now this is the panacea. This is the panacea of our whole life. The solution to most of the problems in our life. If we are patient enough, if we are tolerant enough, we can get rid of lots of problems in our life, especially other people, right? Now, when you look at the problems in your household, outside, maybe your personal life, probably you might think that most of the problems that we are making, they are relevant to our people, not with other people, right? Our arguments, our opinions, right? So then that means we have to be more tolerant with the people we are living with. Right? Sometimes you can tolerate other people at work, outside. You're going to be some people say, see, he's a very good person. She's a very good, but the people in the household know something different about that person. Now, or something that is not correct. You don't know that person's true character, Why is it? It is difficult. Most people are unable to practice Dhamma in their household, right? But for outside, they are very good people. Like the sociopaths, the sociopaths, the mentally sick issue. They are very good now, like gentlemen, wearing a tie and then belting, But that is outside. But inside, it can go haywire. So anyways, adivasana means if we can practice good amount of tolerance, adequate amount of tolerance, we can minimize many akusalas in our personal life. And then dasana, the first one, samvara, patisevana, adivasana, then parivajjana. Parivajjana, and we know parivajjana means avoiding. Sometimes we have to avoid certain things, certain probably even animals at that time. Because Buddhism has to be understood according to the time that we are living, right? Because the people who practice the Dhamma at that time and the way that we have to practice Dhamma now could be different. Totally different, timelines. So we will have to understand how to avoid certain unnecessary things. Now, particularly, the Buddha talks about that you have to avoid painful things. Now, let's say there is a road which is thorny. At that time, people did not travel by car, right? Let's say if that was a monk, and then he has to avoid that thorny road, because if the unenlightened monk is to go on that road, then he gets pricked by the thorny plants, right? At the moment that you get pricked by a thorny thing, what could be the first thing that will come up in your mind, emotionally or feeling wise? It's a mental state of
Pain.
not liking what is
Anger,
Anger.
anger, and feeling painful, pain.
not liking what is happening. You call it anger. You disliking what is happening there. You may come up with anger, you may come up with blame, you may come up whatever the thing, but that you don't like it. You don't glamorize. You don't like it. You don't like that experience. I mean, when you ask from some other people, why don't you go to that place? I don't like it. But we don't see the inherent anger in that. It could be anger, it could be frustration, it could be disappointment, right? But basically, there is a certain moment where that person comes up with anger, right? So the Buddha says, avoid that road. Let's say there is a road where there are a lot of wild dogs. At that time, there were some stray dogs on the road, and the Buddha asked, this is going to be a very challenging road for a monk who is walking on the road, and then you will experience some of the issues, because when the stray dogs see the color, the robe color, they get agitated. They might attack you. The red color, right? All that thing. And also the Buddha said different other things. So pretty much it's about avoiding unnecessary situations whereby you are going to minimize akusalas that are coming out of that bitter experience. And then the last thing we discussed last Friday was destroying certain unnecessary mental states. What were they? Kama, Vyapada, and Vihinsa. Whenever a thought with excessive sensuality arises, you have to, it is said that you can destroy. You can destroy, yeah? Not you have to, you can destroy. It's your choice. Whenever a thought regarding ill will arises in your mindset, mental state, you have to destroy. Whenever a thought of harassment, bullying other people, other beings, even yourself, by committing suicide, taking life, arises, you have to immediately destroy it. Right? This is what the Buddha said by avoiding, destroying. That was the last method we discussed. The sixth method, actually, the sixth one. So now you can see that these are pretty interesting methods. I mean, how can we practice them? Can we wait and practice them? Okay, I'm going to wait for the sixth method today. I'm looking for an opportunity to practice the sixth method. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to look for a moment to practice the third method. Can we do that? Is it going to be practical? We have to practice according to the situation. So it might be the first one. It might be the second one. It might be everything sometimes. Right? Now, the first method, I think, is relevant to all the time, because you have to see it first before doing anything, right? You have to see the situation. You have to see the akusala first, right? Now, let's say someone is planning a very hassle-free day, thinking that if I go this way, if I meet this person, if I happen to do this and that, there will be a problem coming. And then, so, I mean, getting rid of that particular thing is avoiding, right? The fifth method. But understanding that this will arise, this will happen, this will really bother me, is the first one, dasana. So that means you have to sort of approach in multi ways. You know, probably you might use a couple of them at the same time. All right, let's get into now the seventh method. First, I would ask someone to read a little bit. just to see the ability of reading. All right, it's going to be here. Okay, who would like to read this part? Oh, not here. Sorry about that. Here. So I'm going to say you can read till here, the first one. Second one is going to read from here to the bottom. Yeah. Who would like to read? Bhavana Pahatabhasa. Kim, yes, Kim.
Katami cha bhikkhave asava bhavana pahatava. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu patisanka yoniso sati sambojangam. Bhavati vivakani
Bhaveti.
eti vivakanisitam viraganisitam nirodhanisitam Sagaparaninamin
Parinamin.
Patisangka Yoniso Dhamma Vichaya Sambojangam Bhaveti Vivakanisitam Viraganisitam Nirodhanisitam Vosagaparinamin Patisangka Yoniso Viriyasam Bojangam Bhaveti Vivakanisitam Viraganisitam Nirodhanisitam Vosagaparinamin.
All right. Yes. Great. I think you read up until here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Who will be reading the next? From here to here. Patisankhaya also. Anybody else?
Bhante, I try.
Yes, Melinda.
Okay. Patisankha Yuniso Patisambojangam Bhaveti Vivekanisitam.
One second, please. Patisankha Yoniso.
Okay. Patisankha Yunuso Patisambojangam.
Is it the Piti Sambojanga?
No. Piti Sambojangam Bhaveti Vive or Viva.
Viveka Nisitam.
Viveka Nisitam, Viraga Nisitam, Niroda Nisitam, Vosakaparinamin, Patisankha Yoniso, Pasadi Sambojangam, Bhaveti Vivekan Nisitam, Viraga Nisitam, Niroda Nisitam, Vosagaparinamin Patisankha Yoniso Samadhisambojangam Bhavati Vivekanisitam Viraganisitam Nirodhanisitam Vosagaparinamin Patisankha Yoniso Upeka Sambojangam Bhaveti Vivekanisitam Viraganisitam Nirodhanisitam Vosagaparinamin. Thank
Interesting,
you.
Huh? See, somebody might think about this is what we are going to understand, but the words are too long. These are Pali words. So we're going to understand what they are about. Huh? What we're going to do is we're going to first Before, or maybe we're gonna read once again at the same time, understand the translation, and then talk about the Bojjhangas. Okay. Katamecha bhikkhave asava bhavana pahatappa. Now, bhavana. The word bhavana, I think I already told you, has been misunderstood by many. They think that bhavana is going to be applicable to usual meditation, but bhavana has to be particularly understood as developing 7 Bojjhangas only. 7 Bojjhangas are the what you call the ultimate nature of your spiritual practice. Now you might find out some duplications. There is the Noble Eightfold Path practice. There are what you call meditation practices. Where are these practices going to incorporate, fit into the 7 Bojjhangas? Let me tell you, 7 Bojjhangas are the ultimate level of your spiritual practices if you really want to become an Arahant, particularly Arahant, not about Sotapan. All right. Now, let me tell you, before I jump into the text, this interesting sutta. I'm going to say Kundaliya Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya, 46.6. You can later check. Kundaliya Sutta. It's going to be Samyutta Nikaya. I'm going to type it here so you can see it. Read it as a whole. In this sutta, Kundaliya Sutta, the Buddha clearly says the relevance of the 7 Bojjhangas to the practice. What is the relevance of these 7 Bojjhangas to our normal practice? Now, let me ask you, where have you learned about the 7 Bojjhangas so far? What is your basic knowledge about the 7 Bojjhangas? Where did you learn them? I think you all must have learned the 7 Bojjhangas as a chanting text. That is what you know. But the importance of the 7 Bojjhangas is it is actually going far more than the chanting text. Now you see 7 Bojjhangas as a part of the chanting text, as a replay of the Arahanthood of 2 Arahants and the Buddha. But in this sutta, Buddha says, how does someone get into the Bojjhangas? How does our practice lead to the Bojjhangas and finally we end up with the Arahanthood, becoming Arahant? First, this sutta says, we need to practice Indriya Samvara. The first one is Indriya Samvara. Maybe I'm going to draw it, that is much better. Right. First is maybe here. Indriya Samvara. What is Indriya Samvara? Here I can. It's more clear. Indriya Samvara. I'm writing from in Pali because then you will understand the correct word. Indriya Samvara means?
Controlling the faculty or senses.
We could say guarding the senses. Guarding the senses. Actually, we are not supposed to control anything. What we are doing is we are going to guard, because controlling means suppression. When we suppress, it is like that you are trying to push a ball in the water. Once you are tired of doing that, the ball will come up on the surface of the water. We are trying to understand why we are doing this. So it is more likely a guarding, taking care, safeguarding, taking care of our senses. So the first thing that everybody in your practice, in Buddhist practice, is to do is Indriya Samvara. We are going to guard our senses. And through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, through our tongue, through our body, and through our mind. So let's have a very good management of our senses. That is the first thing. Then this guarding of the senses, Indriya Samvara, will lead us to an interesting thing. What is it? According to this sutta, it will take us to the 3, we call them Sucharitas. What are the 3 Sucharitas here? Sila, we could say Sila, Samadhi, Panya, mostly, right? 3 Sucharitas. Let's go to the Kundaliya Sutta. Okay, here's the sutta. You can see here, Indriya Sangaroko Kundaliya Bhavito Bahulikato Tini Sucharitani Paripu Retiti. You could also say Kaya, Vachi, Mano, Sucharita, actually, whatever the things you do with your mind, body, and speech. And then what happens? Katame Panabo Gotama Dhamma Bhavita Bahulikata Tini Sucharitani Paripure. It will take you to the 4 Satipatthanas. Then I'm going to show you from here. And then the 3 Sucharitas will lead you to the four Satipatthanas. 4 Satipatthanas. So, what are they? 4 Satipatthanas? 4 Satipatthanas. Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma. Now, who are always thinking about practicing of meditation. Let me ask you, what is the purpose of 4 Satipatthanas?
4 foundations of meditation.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. 4 foundation of mindfulness. Yeah.
Is it right?
I'm asking the purpose of the 4 mindfulness, 4 Satipatthana. No, you are talking mindfulness. I'm asking what is the purpose of the 4 Satipatthanas? Kaye Kayanupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanas. This is the plan of your Satipatthana practice, right? Then Vedanasu Vedananupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanas. Chitte Chittanupassī viharati. I'm reading Satipatthana Sutta. Chitte Chittanupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanas. Dhamme Dhammanupassī viharati ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanas. The purpose of the 4 Satipatthana is to destroy or abandon the extreme greed that you have for yourself and for the world. That means it is not just emptying the mind or filling the mind out of something. By doing Satipatthanas, whatever, Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma, you are going to dispel any grief, we call abhijjā dhamma, any grief or covetousness about your inner world and the outside world. I think I have to show you that, then you will understand. Satipatthana Sutta. That's it. Majjhima Nikaya 10. This is the concise version. Let's go to the Pali one. All right. It has to be this statement everywhere. You can say here. Satipatthana Sutta. Sutta here. Katame chattaro. Ida bhikkave bhikkhu kāye kāyanupassī viharati. Ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanassa. Again, Vedanasu Vedananupassī viharati. Ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanassa. Chitte Chittanupassī viharati. Ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanassa. Dhammesu Dhammanupassī viharati. Ātāpi sampajāno satimā vinaya loke abhijjā domanassa. This is the statement that covers all these Satipatthanas. Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma. Now, let me tell you. Then, when you are practicing Satipatthanas, then you should know the purpose of Satipatthanas that you are trying to get at a certain point. That is to dispel any grief or covetousness towards the world. Have you learned this this way in your meditation programs? Maybe the speakers must have told you this. Or you have learned it just as a quiet day. You are just spending a quiet day in a place. You are just either emptying the mind or filling the mind with whatever the things that they are talking about. This has to be highlighted. This is the, that means at the end of the day or during the day, during the whatever the program thing that you are part of, you should be able to dispel any grief or any covetousness that you have towards yourself and to the whole world. Actually, we are struggling with grief and covetousness about us and other people on a daily basis. Are we not sad about things we don't have, maybe things that don't happen the way that we born? Or are we not having extreme greed about people and things? Yes, we do have. So the purpose is to dispel such grief and covetousness about it. Abhijja domarasa. Now, the reason why I mentioned to you about this is, once again, go back to our practice according to the Kundalini Sutta. Now, you are practicing. Okay. Now, first, your practice has to be started from Indriya Sangvara. Indriya Sangvara will help you to practice 3 Sucharitas, and that will help you to practice the 4 Satipatthanas. And then 4 Satipatthanas are letting you practice 7 Bojjhangas. Interesting. 7 Bojjhangas. Now you will understand this is the practice of Bojjhanga is a result of your practice of the 4 Satipatthanas. And then the practicing of the 7 Bojjhangas will take you to the final. That means Vijja. This will help you to attain Vijja and Vimukti. Vijja means the correct knowledge, and Vimukti means the release, liberation. So this is our practice. Now, the sutta, which is called Kundalini Sutta, you can see it in the message, in the chat, 46.6 clearly explains where does the practice of the Bojjhangas is going to fit in our practice. This is our practice. We are always trying to guard our senses, and we are practicing Sucharitas, Satipatthanas, that will help us to practice Bojjhangas. And now you will understand that without practicing Bojjhangas, you will never go to the liberation. And also you have to understand this is a result of your proper practice of the 4 Satipatthanas, with an emphasis of dispelling grief and covetousness towards yourself and to the outside world. This is one important thing. Second is, now this is the teaching of the 7 Bojjhangas is highly connected, precisely connected to another very famous Dhamma teaching. Can you guess? What is it? This 7 Bojjhangas is connected exclusively to another very famous teaching. So without that, we cannot talk about 7 Bojjhangas. That teaching cannot be discussed without the 7 Bojjhangas. So they are interrelated.
But they say the eight noble path.
No. Noble Eightfold Path is our path, our road to becoming an Arahant.
Is it in dependent origination?
That is the universal law of how things happen. Hetu, Pachaya, what do you call Hetu, Pachaya, and Pala. That is how Hetu, Pachaya, Pala happen. That dependent origination is the universal law how things happen. Noble Eightfold Path is our road to becoming an Arahant.
Bhante, is it
Bhante, of
And-
enlightenment, Bhante?
Pardon me?
Is it the factors of enlightenment?
Yeah,
five-
factors of
Five factors. The five factors.
Well, I would say 7 Bojjhangas are the seven enlightening factors. I'm asking you if 7 enlightening factors are the highest just before the Nibbana, but ahead of the Posatipattanas, then I'm telling you, when we are going to discuss about the 7 enlightening factors, the Bojjhangas, there is another very famous teaching that we cannot discuss the 7 Bojjhangas without them. You know what they are.
Five spiritual factors, I think, or energies. The past
Is it,
five spiritual factors, I think, yeah. It's
Is it,
something similar, Bhante. It's
Is it-
similar. It's the energy, Viriya, Sati, and also Upeka.
You could see some similarities of such small teachings.
Yeah.
Four
what do you
noble
call it?
truths. Four noble truths. No.
Well, I mean, that's why we
Yeah.
have to be very careful. We should not complicate. Dhamma has been given in a very analytical way. If you know the framework, you won't go and pick up this and that. The other Dhamma teaching that is highly connected to the 7 Bojjhangas is 5 Nivaranas, 5 hindrances. Now,
Yeah.
you know what they are. You know that, back of your head. Why it didn't turn out? The reason is you haven't learned it this way. You have not
Oh.
learned it this way.
Okay,
Now-
Bhante, I know. Now, is it the 5 Prakritis?
No. 5
5
hindrances.
hindrances.
5 hindrances.
Hindrances is
5
different.
hindrances.
Yeah,
five
that the
hindrances.
meditation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
the
the-
sensual
now-
desire, all
Yeah.
these
Now
are
Now the connection of 5 Nivaranas to the 7 Bojjhangas is when you diminish the 5 hindrances, that means you are automatically developing the 7 Bojjhangas.
Okay,
Oh.
so we have to get rid of the 5
No,
hindrances.
the more you diminish
Get
the
rid, yeah.
5 hindrances, the more you practice or you are getting into the 7 Bojjhangas.
Mm.
This is what I'm telling you. This is given in many suttas. Now let me tell you, where can you find out these Bojjhangas in the Sutta Pitaka? There is a place called Samyutta Nikaya, Bojjhanga Samyutta, which has 184 suttas. Let me show you. You don't have to read all that, but just to understand, these suttas are about Bojjhanga. So let's go and check it out. Sutta Central is to find out these ones. Okay, this is the main home page of Sutta Central. We go to the Sutta Pitaka. We go down Samyutta Nikaya, and then there are many Samyutta Nikayas, the Mahayana Samyutta Chinese version, but we go to the Pali one, Samyutta Nikaya, and then here it should be, I think, where is it? Not Nidana, Kantavagga. Find out from here. Yeah, Bojjhanga Samyutta should be under Linked Discourses collection. Yeah, Linked Discourses. Okay, Nidana Vagga, Nidana Samyutta, Dhatu Samyutta, Kassapa Samyutta, Labha Sankara, Opam, Bhikkhu Samyutta. We here. Linked discourse, the group of linked discourses on the path. You can see here. This is the 46th Samyutta of the Samyutta Nikaya. If you click on this, you can see all these suttas from 1 to 140, 84. All these suttas are about Bojjhanga. Now let me take one of them. Let's take. Now remember, the Bojjhangas about the sick people, they should come under the chapter of this on the sick people. The chapter on hindrances. Now let's open up one sutta. Okay. I would prefer Pali because reading Pali is important. This is an interesting sutta. Let's see. Say Yoniso Manasikara. not the right. Upaklesa Sutta. Yeah, all these suttas are about the connection between Pancha Nivarana and the what you call 7 Bojjhangas. Saktime Bhikkave Bojjhanga Anavarana Anavarana Anivarana Chetaso Anupaklesa. Now, why they are Anavarana Anivarana? Why the 7 Bojjhangas are Anivarana Anavarana? Because the opposite is Nivarana Avarana. Right? Now the 5 hindrances are called as 5 nivaranas or avaranas. That means what messes you, what encompasses you. But the Sattabhojangas are anivarana, anavarana. They are opening up your spiritual life. They are trying to show you the path. So that means Pancha Nivarana is the opposite of the Sattabhojangas. Now once you, I would say, subdue Kamachanda, the first one, and then Vyapada, ill will, Tina made the sloth and topo, and then Uddacha Kukkucha, restlessness and remorse or regret, and then the Vichikicha, doubt, spiritual doubt. Then what happens that you are automatically trying to develop Sati, Dhammavichaya, Viriya, Piti, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Upekkha. These 7 factors. Now, this is, I think you can see this sutta. Maybe I'm gonna the connection between the Pancha Nivarana and the Sattabhojangas. Avarana Sutta. It is under the what you call Bojjhangas, Bojjhanga Samyutta. And do your homework. Don't need to look at the sutta now. 46.37. This is about the connection between Pancha Nivarana and the Sattabhojjhanga. Then another very interesting sutta comes up. It is called Anavarana, Avarana, Navarana Sutta. This is going to be 46.28, same place. 38. This sutta says something very interesting. Avarana, Navarana. In this sutta, Buddha says that how can you, because the way how we understand the Pancha Nivarana is that we have to practice a meditation. What is the meditation that we are practicing to overcome the 5 hindrances? Now, when you start your meditation practice, what is the first meditation that everybody tells you to practice?
Anapanasati. Is it
That's a bit deeper one. I mean, what is the basic meditation that everybody, or most of the Dhammas, what you call retreat teachers or whoever, Hindu, Buddhist, they advise you to do? Samatha. Samatha meditation.
Breath meditation. Breath, is it?
Samatha meditation.
Samatha.
Samatha, the name is
Samatha? Yeah, that's right,
The
Samatha.
meditation. You start
Yes.
from Samatha.
To bring the calmness down. To
Before
bring
you go into the breath, you
state.
have to calm yourself down, right? You are not being so, you cannot do any breath or whatever, those meditations. Samatha. Now, the idea of Samatha meditation has been encouraged by Buddha Ghosha, Acharya Buddha Ghosha in the Visuddhimagga. But in this particular sutta, if you see it here, Avarana, Navarana Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 46.38, Buddha says that when you listen to a Dhamma talk properly, when you listen to a Dhamma talk in the proper way, with eager ears, in the proper way, in full attention to the Dhamma talk, your Pancha Nivarana will go down. Not many people know this. They think in order for me to, for us to practice, to overcome finding, I have to go into a deep meditation. Because you see many people who became Sotapanna at the time of the Buddha, they were Sotapannas merely after listening to a Dhamma talk. Why is it? When you are listening to the Dhamma talk with eager ears, then you are comparing what the Bhante or whoever is saying to your personal life. I mean, the true Dhamma talk. Huh? There are different Dhamma talks nowadays. True Dhamma talk. Dhamma friendly, Sutta friendly Dhamma talk. Then you can relate every bit of the Bhante's words into your personal life, which you cannot share with other people. You are the one who knows what it is. Happiness, unhappiness, whatever, upekka, your life moments, and you are relating all those experiences to those words. Then it will help. The Buddha says, Ohita soto dhammang sunati imassa pancha nivarana tasmin samena hum. You won't have pancha nivarana anymore. Pancha nivarana means sensuality, then ill will. Will you have a sensuality while you're listening to a Dhamma talking, a full ears relating the Dhamma talk to your personal life? Never. And ill will, no. Ti-Ratana, will you be very lazy? Are you thinking what time the Bhante is going to stop the Dhamma talk? I have to go home, I have to cook something, go something. No, I don't think you are thinking like that. So, no, Ti-Ratana. Uddacha, I don't think you have any worries about coming to a Dhamma temple, vihar, and listen to Dhamma. You have no worry about it. You are happy about it. And your mind may be mostly calm at that, not going here. And Vichikiccha, if you have problems, you're going to ask at the end of the talk. So that means listening to a true Dhamma talk can solve, minimize every area, every tiny bit of area of your Panchaniva. Then what will happen? The Buddha says, when you listen to that kind of a Dhamma talk, it will help you overcome Panchanivarana. Then whenever Panchanivarnas have no space in your mindset, in your spirit, in your mental states, Sattabodhyangas are automatically coming out. It's like wisdom. But when Sattabodhyangas are automatically coming up, you have to develop them to the next level. That is what we are discussing after this. Okay, now let's talk about Sattabodhyangas. Okay. Sati, Dhamma Vichaya, Viriya, Piti, Pasati, Samadhi, Upekka. Let's talk about the first one. Sati. What is Sati? What does Sati mean?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Awareness.
Awareness, mindfulness. Still, there are a lot of complicated, we have a word called hermeneutics. Hermeneutics, interpretational sciences about different things. Sati means, what do you call? Sati basically means Satipatthanas. Who Satipatthanas? Someone might think, if it is mindfulness, it was founded by other people. So basically, Sati means 4 Satipatthanas. Can you practice Sati alone, even in the primary context? No. You have to practice Sati with another similar important quality. What is it? Sampajanya. Sati along with Sampajanya has to be practiced. Sati Sampajanya. All right, that is what the Buddha says. Kaye kayanupasse virati atapi sampajano. Satima vinayelu atapi sampajano. Sampajano means clear comprehension. What is clear comprehension? Now I am sitting on a chair here. I know I am sitting. What is it?
Awareness of all your posture and your mind.
What is it? Now I know I am sitting now here. How do we call it in Dhamma?
Awareness of your body. Bhante, awareness of your body.
No, basically, we know I am sitting here.
Awareness.
Sitting means one of the postures in the Satipatthanas. One of the postures, one of the exercises. That's it. But do I know what are the materials that made up this chair? how all those little tiny details of the chair, do I pay attention to them also?
No.
No.
Or the chair is made of 4 elements, 4 dhatu, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. The chair is on other floor. The floor is also made of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Under this floor, there are maybe hells or whatever things. You know. Do I think about them?
No.
No.
Thinking them. That is
No.
sampajan. That part is
Huh?
sampajan. Yes,
Sam-
clear comprehension. Sati sampajan. Sati sampajan. Right? We don't normally give a look at that, and we don't need to do that. But it is said sati goes with sampajan. All right. Now, then yoniso manasikara. Yoniso manasikara means bringing the kusala version to my mindfulness and sampajan. Is mindfulness alone giving me the happiness, giving me the Buddhist practice? No. Because then a cat is going to be very mindful. During the time he's planning to catch a mouse. Then what do you call, a crane is going to be very mindful. It's planning to catch a fish out of the water. Spending long time in the water, trying to catch the fish. Probably hours and hours. Even many other animals. Even soldiers, law enforcement, they are more mindful than us. They have a mindfulness, their own way. But the mindfulness that we are talking here has to be with kusala perspective. So then we call it not sati, samma sati. What sati? Samma sati. Our sati, samma sati. How do we bring samma part to my mindfulness? How do I bring the right part to my mindfulness? Now I told you, mere mindfulness is not what the Buddha says, because we all have some kind of mindfulness in that way. We need right mindfulness. So how do we bring in that right part to my mindfulness and sampajan? It is by yoniso manasikara. You want to learn more? Come on 10th December 10th. Right? Come on December 10th. Because of yoniso manasikara, you bring in that kusala version to the mindfulness, what you call sati and sampajan. See how are they connected to each other? They are inseparable, these contexts. All right, that is sati. So sati has to be practiced with sampajanya. The true sati, even though it was given without samma, it is samma sati. Right mindfulness. Always say mindfulness is everywhere. Sati is everywhere, but right mindfulness is hardly anywhere. Samma sati is hardly anywhere. So whenever you have right mindfulness, what will happen to you? Tell me. What will happen to you? Let's say you have right mind. So you have now, because of the yoniso manasikara, wise attention, now you bring in the right part onto the sati sampajana. Pretty good, huh? You have a pretty good awareness. You have satipatthana practice well. Now, is that all? Is that all? No, you have to keep going, keep going. Where you keep going? You have to keep going onto the Dhamma Vichaya. Sati Dhamma Vichaya. Now, what does Dhamma Vichaya mean? Dhamma means phenomena. Vichaya means scrutinizing, analyzing. That part. A lot of people think Buddhism is for intellectual people only. Is it? Is Buddhism only for the intellectuals? Intelligentsia.
No, no.
Buddhism is not for the intelligentsia. Buddhism is for the wise people. If they are not wise, those of them who have the potential of creating their own wisdom one, developing the wisdom one, potential wise people one, for the already wise people. So Dhamma Vichaya means you are trying to have a keen investigation whereby you scrutinize everything in the world, yourself and the world. How can you do that? By practicing certain things. One thing is you can look at the sankharas, how all these sankharas are made of. There is a certain arising, there is a certain happening, there is a certain end of each sankhara. Sankhara means all of us. Huh? Anything, everyone that was made up by other things. I am made up by my parents, you are made up by your parents, computers are made by other things, they are made by some other thing, the broadcasting is made by another thing. Because of broadcasting, other sankharas are creating, so they all are connected. So whatever the things that are connected are called sankharas. Then what is not sankhara? Condition. What is unconditioned? If all are conditioned, what is unconditioned?
Nibbana. Nibbana is
Nibbana.
unconditioned.
There's no connection that you can find out. Tracing. It says there is certainly the deconstruction of those links. Now, that is one way to look at Dhamma Vicaya. Another way is looking at the dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada. Now, in Paticca, what is Paticca? The central,
Dependent origination.
yes, the central theory of the whole universe. Central theory. What do we see in the Paticca? Hetu, Pachaya, and Phala. Write that here. What do you see in the Paticca? It has Hetu, then Pachaya, then Phala. Now, what is Hetu? Causes. Everything has a cause. Every phenomenon has a cause. Then, because there is a cause for everything, it has certain conditions. The cause creates certain conditions. Then what happens? All causes, while they are creating conditions, there is a certain effect that will create by the causes. Hetu, Pachaya, Phala. Now, when you practice Dhamma Vicaya by scrutinizing, investigating Dhamma, like what is happening in your life in a more objective way, you are looking at the sankharas as they are. You are looking at the phenomena, situations, experiences as they are, especially through Hetu, Pachaya, Phala. More likely, you are looking at everything from a more vipassana context. Vipassana means seeing things as they are, or seeing how things come to be. Right? We normally look at seeing things as we are, not seeing things as they are. That's the difference. So now you are bringing in a keen investigation of the Dhamma into your personal life. Now, for most people, they have an investigation, but it's very keen. It's like a worn out, maybe used knife. Cannot cut things really. You have to sharpen it. When you sharpen your Dhamma investigation, you have this Dhamma Vicaya. How can you get to Dhamma Vicaya? Only when you practice Sati well. When you have Sati practice well, then the next things to practice is Dhamma Vicaya. In a simple example, let's say you practice Sati well every day, all day long, all night long, then you get to see things as they are, how they come to be in your life, in other people's life, with the support of Paticca, with the support of Sankhara and all that. And when you practice Dhamma Vicaya Bojjhanga well, then what will happen to you? Then immediately it creates Sati Dhamma Vicaya Viriya, energy. You need energy. What kind of energy do you need? You need energy to practice Usala. So there are 3 types of energy that the Buddha talks about. I'm going to write it here. Arambha Dhatu. Second, Nikkama Dhatu. Third is Parakkama Dhatu.
Arambha.
I will explain one by one. Parakkama Dhatu. Now, what are they? These are 3 levels of your energy. When you do anything, you have to think about consider these 3 types of energy. What is the first one? Arambha dhatu. Effort required to begin a particular action. Do we need some efforts to start a certain action? Yes. Initiate the action. Let's say somebody, now just imagine about the Anathapindika's son. Remember? What happened to the Anathapindika's son? Anathapindika, the chief benefactor of the Buddha. The banker Anathapindika was a big supporter of the temple. He's the one who bought the temple and then offered to the Buddha, and then he spent another so many crores of money to make the infrastructure. But what was sadly happening was that his son was not interested at all about the Dhamma activities that he's doing. He's a party guy. And then the banker Anathapindika was sad about it. So one day he thought about something. I'm going to make a trip to my son. Say, okay, tomorrow night, if you go to the temple and listen to a Dhamma talk, I'm going to give you this much money. At that time, probably a couple of dollars. Kahapanas. Huh? I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to go. Give me money. If you give me money up front, he said. And then he went to the Dhamma talk, and then he sat somewhere in the Dhamma talk hall. The Buddha was giving the Dhamma talk. He was listening to, he has no interest at all about the Dhamma talk. Then once the Dhamma talk finished, he came back home and he got the money. The second day, then the banker thought, Anathapindika thought, I'm going to tell my son, okay, if you go to the temple even tonight, but tonight you're going to learn one particular Dhamma word, I'm going to give you this much money. Then that day also, the Buddha is giving a Dhamma talk. He knew what is he trying to do. His plan was to pick the first word in the Dhamma talk and then to forget about all the other Dhamma words in the Dhamma talk. Because only he needs one word. The Buddha knew, Buddha made him not pick any word till the end. Mentally, he made a wish. Kala will not pick any Dhamma word in my Dhamma talk. He is going to listen to the whole Dhamma talk. Because the words are not the Dhamma, right? This whole understanding is the Dhamma. Dhamma is not in particular Pali words. It is the whole understanding of the experience of the Buddha. You know what happened? Finally, he became a Sotapana. Now, I'm telling people, if there is a guy who doesn't even like hearing Dhamma talk, is going to become a Sotapana at the end of the Dhamma talk, second Dhamma talk. Never go to a Dhamma talk. Then what kind of potential that you all have? You've been writing down and then asking questions, and your potential should be far more than. I think the people who are talking becoming a Sotapana has made the journey more complicated. And then like thinking that, oh, you can't, you have to do this and that. So it depends. Mostly, I don't think it is that kind of a messed up. And then on the following day, now the Anathapindika didn't know what happened, father. So he invited the Buddha every day for the lunch dana. So he was thinking, I'm going to give the money to the son after the dana. So he was getting ready to give the money. And then now he's going to give the money at the end of that. Then he rejected taking the money. He said, Patavya eka rajjena saggassa gamanena sabba lokadipachena sotapatti palana. Dear father, if you tell me that you're going to give me the whole universe to me now, not just the $5 whatever, but becoming a Sotapana is the best for me. So he rejected that money. Interesting, huh? So now, to initiate a good activity is also difficult. So if somebody has it, we call it, that person has Arambha dhatu. The first one. Yeah? Second one is Nikkama dhatu. This is to maintain that particular good attempt. Let's say you are having so many problems, but you are trying to stay onto that plan. You are not getting, deterred. You are not getting swayed by what is happening outside, maybe other people. You are experiencing, you are, resolving all the challenges that are actually on board in your process. Nikkama dhatu. Third one is you are continuing till the completion of that particular good act. We call it Parakkama dhatu. Now, Sati Dhamma Vichaya Viriya means that you must have Arambha dhatu, Nikkama dhatu, Parakkama dhatu. For what? Is it about your job? Is it about your household? No, it's about your spiritual practice. You having this attitude till you becoming that person. Then Viriya. Then Piti means, is it joy? Non-sensual joy. It's called Niramisa Piti. We are going to write it here. Niramisa. We call it Niramisa Piti. Niramisa Piti means non-sensual joy. Tell me an example, then, folks. Now, when you have good amount of Sati, Dhamma Vichaya, Viriya, then what happens? There comes a very good motivation in your mind that you are very happy about what's happening. Now, this is that happiness. This happiness did not arise because of some sensual happiness, right? You feel that this happiness is what you call all-encompassing in your life. You are very happy every day, whenever you think about it. Now, sensual joys, they come and go. You will have some happiness of the sensual joy when you are with somebody, when you are eating whatever that you like. But it arises, it stays, it goes away. Then you have to again do it and redo. But this one, this happiness is always pervading everywhere. That piti arises. Viriya piti. Then Passaddhi. What is Passaddhi? Sati, Dhamma Vichaya, Viriya, Piti, Passaddhi. Passaddhi means tranquility. What kind of tranquility? Two types of tranquility. Kaya Passaddhi and Chitta Passaddhi. We are going to send you that too. Today there are a little bit of Pali words. We cannot do this without these Pali words. That's why I'm writing. Kaya Passaddhi. And Chitta Passaddhi. Okay, what does Kaya Passaddhi mean? Now, if tranquility is Passaddhi, then what is Kaya Passaddhi? Is it the tranquility of the body? No. Here, Kaya does not mean the body, physical body. Here, Kaya means something else. We call it Vedana and Sanya. Here, Kaya means our feelings and our perceptions. So, they are the Kaya Passaddhi. They have to be tranquilized. Are our feelings tranquilized easily? When you have a lot of feelings, can you get tranquilized easily? Not that easy. So you are going to tranquilize calm your feelings. Right? You are able to manage your feelings. Not that the feelings are going to take you over. Then Sanya. Sanya means perception.
Perception.
The need of the urge to look for the markings, notes in the past, for the future. Now you are going to tranquilize your perceptions. You are not going to be worried about the past, future perceptions. You are just being mindful about that particular moment. So Kaya means that, tranquilizing your Kaya Passaddhi. Chitta Passaddhi means your Vinyana. You are going to tranquilize your Vinyana, consciousness. So when you tranquilize these two areas, you are having Passaddhi. Now, when you have Sati, you can practice Dhamma Vichaya. When you practice Dhamma Vichaya, then Viriya, then Piti, now Passaddhi. Samadhi means what you call concentration. Concentration means, what does Samadhi mean? Now, when you practice Samadhi, which means basically the Samatha meditation, or maybe listening to a Dhamma talk, like I said in these suttas, what is happening is that your Pancha Nivarana will be subdued, minimized. Then you are able to practice 7 Bojjhangas. In addition to the practice of 7 Bojjhangas, there are 5 other things that might come up in that practice. What are they? Jhana Angas. We call them Jhana factors. Vitakka, Vichara, Priti, Sukha, Ekaggata. But be careful, do not just stick to them. Because if you stick to them, you will only stay at the jhanas. You never practice 7 Bojjhangas. once you subdue the 5 hindrances, 5 factors of jhanas will automatically come up as a result. But what is ultimately happening is that you are developing the 7 bodhjangas at the same time. So samadhi is samma samadhi. It has to be right concentration. Okay, Kim asking question. Parakkama dhatu means being able to have the energy till you complete that particular project. Now, in this case, you're Dhammajaya. Never ever get bothered by anything on the way. There are a lot of maras on the way, waving hands and raising things. So you're going to have your energy till you finish one day. All right. And then this is samadhi. Samadhi means samma samadhi, right concentration. Right. So right concentration means you may get the jhanas, but your ultimate purpose is not jhanas. You're going to turn to vipassana and practice 7 bodhjangas all the way. Finally, upekha. Upekha means
Equanimity.
That's also a little loaded word, actually. You say equanimity. Yes, I mean, that is equanimity. But equanimity has to be explained a little bit in detail. I would say here upekha means being able not to be shaken by any good thing or any bad thing that is happening in our life. Let's say if I am complimented today and I'm going to be too much overwhelmed by that compliment by somebody, then I'm not practicing upekha. Because the same person might constructively criticize me on the next day, then how do I understand this thing? The Buddha said that whenever you are appreciated, criticized, fame, defame, when you are happy, unhappy, do not try to bring different high state of mind on account of that particular phenomenon change in your life. Just accept those things in the same way, but do not be overwhelmed by any of those happy, unhappy phenomena in your life. Don't be too overwhelmed. Don't be overwhelmed by any of those things. That is where you're going to have upekha. Right? Now you can see, as the Buddha said, when some schools are they're playing for some big matches, when they win over the other group, they're going to attack the other group because of their happiness. We won the trophy, so we're going to attack you. And they're going to attack because they were defeated, sometimes. So the Buddha says we will see the victory, defeat, loss, gain, happiness, unhappiness, fame, defame, and all that in a certain mediocre, moderate way, not by being overwhelmed by any of those particular events that are happening. All right, so these are the 7 bodhjangas. Now let's go to the text a little bit faster to see the text. There are some couple of words that I want to explain to you. All right. So here. Okay, now look at these Pali words. Now you know these names. You can see there are 4 words that are particularly for each bodhjanga. You can see here. Viveka Nissita, Viraga Nissita, Nirodha Nissita, Vossagga Parinama. Right? Those are mostly adjectives about each bodhjanga. Each bodhjanga leads to the Viveka Nissita. Viveka means, what is Viveka? What does Viveka mean?
Delightful in solitude, is it?
Seclusion. That means some. So we need some happiness in our seclusion. So it definitely, each of these bodhjangas lead us to Viveka, the greatest type of Viveka. Then Viraga Nissita. Can any of these bodhjangas lead to sensuality? No, they are not bringing you to any unnecessary sensuality. So it's going to be not Raga Nissita, it's Viraga Nissita. Nirodha Nissita. Nirodha means, what does Nirodha means?
Cessation. Is it cessation?
What cessation? You can cease many things, but what cessation is that? Cessation of the dukkha. Dukkha nirodha. Ariya Satya. Dukkha nirodha. So you are ceasing your dukkha. All right. Now here, each bojjhanga will take you to the cessation of the dukkha. Interesting here. Nirodha nisita. Then interesting this word. Vossagga parinami. I think I had to write it here. Vossagga. What is vossagga? Vossagga means releasing. You release something because vossagga. Now the Buddha said to the dana people, when you're going to give dana, vossagga. Release whatever the things you have. But do not amass. Do not hold. Release. Vossagga means release. Release from the dukkha. Then vossagga parinami. Leading to what? Leading to what? Parinami means leading to liberation, leading to the release. Releasing of what? Releasing our dukkha. So each bojjhanga will lead us to the release from the dukkha. You may call it suffering, you may call it dissatisfaction. All right. Now, this is what you can see everywhere. And at the end, you may see, Yang hissa bhikkave abhavayato uppajjayung āsavā vigāta parilaha bhavayato evang sati āsavā vigāta parilaha nahonti ime vucchanti bhikkave āsavā bhavana. That means whenever you develop these 7 bojjhangas by minimizing, by diminishing the 5 hindrances, you will never have to deal with the annoying, burning kilesas or akusalas, annoyances that will come to somebody who does not develop the 7 bojjhangas by removing 5. So you are good. You're all good. You're on the safer side. Means you are removing already. So you are practicing after that these 7 bojjhangas. So you will not have to deal with those burning annoyances. There are a lot to talk about. Maybe I'm going to extend the rest with a review of the whole sutta next day. This is going to be 22nd of is that 22nd? It's going to be
22nd December.
Yes, 22nd of December is our next day. So I'm going to actually explain a little bit more about this developing part and then to do a recap on that day. And we're going to finish the whole sutta. So be prepared to answer any questions. All right. Any questions about today, developing part?
Bhante, can Bhante explain the kaya passaddhi? Is it a tranquility of the body?
No, this is not the physical body. Passaddhi means kaya passaddhi and chitta passaddhi. They are both mental, but they are differently mental. Kaya passaddhi means you are going to tranquilize your vedana and sanya, your feelings and your perceptions. Then chitta passaddhi means you are going to tranquilize your consciousness, viññāna. So it's about kaya passaddhi and chitta passaddhi. Kaya passaddhi means tranquilizing your vedana and sanya. Chitta passaddhi means tranquilizing your viññāna. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Bhante, I would like to ask, if a person who has developed the bojjhangas, once he has developed, he will never lose it, is it? Or will he, after some time, he forget, then he have no more bojjhanga again?
Provided that you attain nibbana, you will not lose them. But provided that you haven't attained nibbana, yes, you might expire. You might expire. But still, let's say you are a sotapanna already. If you are a sotapanna already, so you are on the path already. So you are easy to catch up with the bojjhangas anytime. But if you ask me if there is a stage where somebody will never expire from them, that is the stage when you become an arahant. Then you will not, expire from any of these 7.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Bhante.
All right, we can take one more question and then we can finish for today. It's almost.
Bhante, I want to understand during the chanting, we normally chant this three sutta, the Kassapa, the Moggallana, and Chunda, I think. Why is why I think is it they are at the state of sickness or what? This is a bojjhanga for sickness. Is it when the blessed one is sick, then you know the Chunda bojjhanga, and it was a very good 7 factors been mentioned. That's how I learned from that. But I'm curious to know why is it in a situation of the sickness. Then maybe today I saw something is like also there's a session on bojjhanga sickness, is it? And they are chanting that.
It's not about the definition of bojjhanga. Let me tell you. First of all, I want to dispel a misconception that a lot of people may have. A lot of people think that bojjhangas are only for the arahants. Bojjhangas are only relevant to arahants. It is a misconception because we all have to practice bojjhangas to become an arahant. Now, what is happening with those 3 suttas? Kassapattera bojjhanga, Moggallanattera bojjhanga, Chundattera bojjhanga. Those individuals, Arhan Mahakassapa, Arhan Moggallana particularly, they smell something in the jungle. I think the Kalandaka Nivam, where the squirrels are living. Then what happened? They got sick.
Okay.
Maybe they had some allergies, seasonal allergies. They got sick. When arahants get sick, their physical body is sick like us. So they are not able to think about their bojjhangas at that. So somebody has to come and remind, then they are going to bring their memories back about their enlightenment.
Okay.
So that they got back to know.
Okay. Thank you.
Similar thing happened to the Buddha. That means these arahants, they have the same human body. Only their mind is arahant. Their consciousness is the only place where we can call they have the wisdom, they are arahants. So physical body is physical body, like us. If somebody going to attack, they're going to be attacked. That's why when the physical, now you think about when you are down with the flu, you cannot eat, you cannot move around, you are pretty much isolated, you are bedridden. What Dhamma can you think about at that time? You may be a very expert Dhamma teacher, maybe a listener. You can't think about anything other than your pain. At that point, somebody comes and you think about your pain is anicca. You may be painful now, but don't take your pain as yours. Pain is anicca. It will go away. Then somebody is reminding me. Think about it. But I know it, but I cannot think about it because I'm physically down. Right?
Thank you.
That's why during the suttas, Buddha went over to Mahakassapa, Arhan Mahakassapa, Arhan Moggallana. They reminded them, think about your enlightened practice. They didn't thought about it. That helped them. Now, how this is going to relate to the normal people? In the sense of practicing, maybe reminding their own bojjhanga practice. Reminding their own bojjhanga, like let's say a lay person comes to a vihara, joining the bojjhanga chanting and thinking about my own bojjhanga practice, then that will help that person to recover mentally, physically. Make sense?
So, it makes sense. Bhante is really good because this sutta really is a reminder to walk our journey, and these are the 7 factors that really effort must be put in to really. But today, Bhante, you make it much clearer. All the points that we have to more in that. I appreciate that. And is it good that can we count on this chanting during a person's sickness? We chant this is powerful or what? It does help.
We can let him create his or her own power by telling before. We are going to chant the bojjhanga, but you think about your own sati. How you have been practicing. You think about your own Dhamma Vicaya. You think about your own Viriya, Piti, Passaddhi. Then that person gets to think about his or her own those 7 bojjhangas. it can definitely help that person. But if you go and tell, I'm going to chant Bojjanga, so you will be okay at the end of the sutta, then it will be then by the power of the monks. But we have to remind the sick person or anybody who is going to the house, okay, devotees, I'm going to chant the 7 Bojjangas. You think about your own sati, your own Dhamma Vicaya, your own Viriya, Piti, Pasati, Samadhi, Upekka. The more you think about your own practice, the better you will be. The
And
more
the pain will
recovering you will be. This is the proper way.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right.
Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Let's transfer the good karmas now. Make all the good karmas which we will today by understanding the developing 7 Bojjangas to minimize, overcome defilements, āsavās, akusalas that are coming when we are not practicing 7 Bojjangas. Is what we discussed today. May all these good things, good karmas be shared by or transferred to the departed ones. If the departed ones were reborn in a place of unhappiness, may they be able to release from those painful places. They are already in a good place. May they be able to improve their life and then learn more, apply more, finally attain the supreme bliss of Him. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me jnati nang sukita idam me jnati nang idam me jnati nang sukita. May Deva Naga Mahindika share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety. May Deva Naga Mahindika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe sattha anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya. Akasattha ca bummanta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu lokasasanang. Akasattha ca bummanta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummanta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang paranti chirang rakhantu mang sadati. Also, may we be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas. Being surrounded by the Kalyana Mittas is a requirement to become a Sotapanna. It is as important as the wise attention. There are 4 things to practice in becoming a Sotapanna. Paratokosa, listening to a Dhamma talks, being surrounded by Kalyana Mittas, then practicing Yoniso Manasikara and practicing Dhamma as the Dhamma says how we have to act on Dhamma. So, may we be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas and not with the Bhava. Thinking thus, we're going to make the vision. Imina punya kammine mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been accumulating today, especially today is, I can say informally, the day that we finish the 7 methods of the Sabbāsava Sutta, and I hope that you've been learning a lot, that you are practicing at the same time. May all these good karmas be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu. The next day, that's going to be December 22nd, we're going to have a review of the whole sutta by also explaining some of the things that I could not explain today because of the time constraint. With that in mind, I'm going to wish that you have a good night. At the same time, now I'm going to bless all of you. Please receive the blessings. Abhivadana Siris Nichang Vata Pachayino Chataru Dhamma Vadhanti Ayuvan Sukhang Balang Ayurarugya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Me Vache Atu Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Saminjatu Sadhu Sadhu.
Sadhu.
Wishing you a good night and we'll see you
Good
there.
night, Bhante.
Good night,
Good
Good
night,
night.
Thank you
Very,
very much.
good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bhante. Good night.
Thank you, Bhante,
Good night,
for
everyone.
the
See you on the 22nd.
thank you, Bhante, for the good explanation for the sutta.
you.
Thank you so much. Take care. And good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good
Good night,
night.
sister. Good night.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, Sister Kim and everyone.
Yeah,